everybody, out here working on a project. I think I'm gonna do a little work to this brush guard here that I picked up for the ZJ. I think I'm gonna pull off this winch plate here that's integrated into the brush guard. They got it turned upside down where the fair lead mount is facing in towards the bottom of the grill radiator area. Not sure why they did that. Also gotta pull these headlight guard off and pull this bracket off. Both of them are bent in different directions. If I pull it off, I might need to remove this bushing washer spacer. So we'll see what we're gonna do there. Remove this bracket, remove the winch plate. Then I got this generic winch plate, universal winch plate from Harbor Freight. It's a Badlands. Went and bought this. This was gonna be the original bumper project, but might see if we can integrate the winch plate right here, because this one's all bowed right here. There's torched holes, plasma cut holes they use to cut them, so it's just bolted on with these 4 bolts and then a piece of angle iron up here. So let's start working on that right now. So got it propped up there. It's gonna stay there, I think. So let's get to taking something off. Looks like they're 14 millimeter, so let's get a 14 millimeter wrench. Got a metric 14 wrench right here. Start by taking these brackets loose. So here's the bracket that was on there. Not sure if that was part of the brush guard originally or if somebody added that later. Might integrate them into the bumper later, but taking them off for right now. Those bolts are actually a 9/16 bolt, it looks like. So let's find one of those wrenches. Got just this conglomerate of wrenches in here. Need to figure out a way to organize them. I have these organizers. They're not the greatest. Might try putting everything in them. Might try using them, not sure. And my drawers aren't very deep, so they take up the whole drawer. Not sure if they would fit with the last wrench in there, but we'll see one day. I'll get this drawer cleaned out. Let's get these bolts off the winch plate right here. Got one bolt out. Got that one out. Side's loose. Looks like I'm gonna need to break that one loose first. Bolts are a little on the rusty side. There we go, that one's out. Let's see if we can break this one loose and then use the impact, or if it's the same way. Oh, no, it was actually barely tight at all. Switch over to the impact. Just zip that right out of there. And it's free. Just lift it out of here, I guess. That wants to fall, but that's fine. Got it out of there. Might save this and use it for something in the future. If you ever need something like that. Maybe a rear winch, a winch on something else. Here's what that looks like inside of there. Just a piece of angle iron that holds it in there with 3 bolts, 2 in the back, 1 in the front. Nothing too complex. Same on this side. Plate right here is 3/16. And then it's got the tubes. It's pretty beefy. Should be a good add-on to the 2x6 tube that I got. Probably have to notch it somehow and then weld it to the 2x6 tube. Get it all integrated, looking good, like it's one piece or close as we can get it. So let's get to doing some more work on this brush guard here. Got just a standard little wire brush. Just clean all the gunk in here out. It's all cleaned up and see what we're gonna do next on it. Got it just standing up here on its side. Let's get this last bracket removed here. It's bent up at a different angle, so I'm not sure what was going on here. The other one was bent like downward towards like where the bumper would be. I don't know if this one just, it looks like it got bent right here. There's a nice radius going, so not sure what happened there. Let's get it removed. It's only got 1 bolt holding it on, the one that holds the light guard on. So let's remove that real quick. Got that bolt out of there. Got that out. Save it. Maybe we can, there you can look at the bend right there. There we go. Got that all stripped down. Winch plates off. Those angled brackets are off. The light protector's still loose. Thinking about going to the store and getting some new bolts. And they have fat washers at the Ace Hardware I go to. They're like this washer. So I'm thinking about getting a couple of those for one for each side. So don't have to remove the top. Top's a bolt threaded in here also, just like the bottom. These ones are pretty thick tube though, so you could weld easily to these ones, the ones that were on the one I have out there for the Dodge 3500 that I have. They were probably half that thickness. Gonna look at the winch plate over there and see what I have to do to integrate it into here. Let's get the brush guard portion out of the way here. It's pretty light now. Get the old one out here. Look at them. Comparison. Yeah, you can see a big old bow right here. I don't know if you guys can see that on video, but it's going, and then just boom, probably half an inch bow right there. Made a 3/16 inch plate. Pretty thick metal right there. They got 2 holes right there cut. Then you got your Harbor Freight Badland. Have to drill some new holes, of course, where these ones were that connected it to the actual brush guard. 2 on each side. Big old washer right there, it looks like, of some sort. Wonder what they could have had in there. Maybe a D-ring of some sort for recovery. The Badlands winch plate right here looks to be a little wider, so I'll set you up so we can look at that. Badlands winch plate is definitely a little bigger. When I measured it, it seemed like it was about half an inch bigger. Right there, it's about lined up. Yeah, that's about half an inch, maybe a little more. Let's get to measuring the Badlands winch plate out here. We'll have to figure where the center is, and then much on each side we need to cut off. Gonna have to cut it off from each side so it's centered in the brush guard perfectly. Figure out how we're going to cut that, if we're going to use the bandsaw that I got outside, the horizontal one, or we'll use an angle grinder. Yeah, we'll get to working on that right now. Get the measurements maybe off the old one or the brush guard that's outside, and we'll get to figuring that out. Figure the center of the brush guard out first. Got my tape measure, got my right angle, and they got 2 pens. We'll see which one marks the best. Get a rag and clean this winch plate up so we can get to mark it. It's got some oil and grime on it, so move this stuff and I'll wipe it off with these rags that I got that are good at removing grease. Got these rags here, and let's wipe it off. Just get that grease off of here. Got that all cleaned up, so let's get to figuring out where the center point is on it. Get the tape measure laid out here. About 3 feet and 3/16. So it looks like half of 36 and 3/16 is 18 3/32. So we'll get to as close as that as we can. So we'll find 18. 18's right here. So looks like half of 36 is 18 inches and 3/32. I got a tape measure here that's got 30 seconds on it. I'll be using that one. This one only has 16ths on it. You guys can see that. Got 18 marked, and it looks like only the 3/32 goes to a foot. So we'll have to line that up over here and figure out where the 3/32 goes. So we got that lined up right there. It looks like it lines up pretty much in the center of these holes. Might be off by just a hair. So let's get that marked out on here actually. Line that up on both the top of these holes right here. 2 holes run, one right here. Then there's one on the other side. I've got 18 marked. We'll move over the tape measure so we can use the 30-second grid that goes up to a foot. Line it up from like 2 inches. 1 30-second, 2, 3. Yep, right there. That's the center point. We'll grab our square here. Grab our square here. Transfer that mark over. There we go. Got the center line mark right here. Down the bottom of the plate here. We'll get that transferred up the sides here. There we go. There's the center mark for the whole thing. Figure out where we need to cut it over here. So let's do that. Figure out how long the old one is, and we'll transfer that over to the new one. Got the tape measure over it to figure out how long it is right here. You see that right there? We'll get that figured out on that one over there. Then we'll get it marked, laid out. Chop those parts out. And so 23 5/8 that this measured out to be, the length of it is 11 13/16 is what we'll need to transfer onto each side here, and then we'll be able to chop the sides off there. We'll get to working on laying the rest of this out and figure what we need to do from there on out. So we'll need to mark 11 13/16 onto the new one here out, and then we'll cut that extra part out and another 11 and 13/16 out over here. Get to laying it out here. So right there would be where we need to cut it. Do the same to the other side and we'll get it. Yep, right there. Got it laid out right there. There we go. Got that one laid out. There we go. I think we're gonna try cutting it here in horizontal cutting bandsaw. Got it. The line transferred up here to the top. So we'll line that up with the bandsaw blade here. Let's get to cutting on it. Looks like this part's making contact right there, so it can't go over it. So gotta figure out how we're gonna work around that. Looks like the bandsaw idea is not really gonna work that well. Keeps bottoming out. Got this one cut right to all the way to right there, so we'll just finish it with the angle grinder. That's no big deal. There we go. Got that part cut off with the angle grinder here. Went and used my battery powered one. Actually worked pretty dang well. I didn't know how it would work on a thick piece, but it actually worked pretty well. Went and cut from right there, I think it was, all the way down to there. So it did pretty well. We'll take the angle grinder with a flap disc in here, clean all this up. We'll get the reverse side cut over there that has down to right here cut, and we'll do that right here. I'm actually going to build like a welding cart, a little fabrication table here pretty soon. Been looking for a little like roll around toolbox with a flat top on it. I was thinking about using one of these for a welding cart, fabrication table, putting the belt sander on this side of it and your welder on a shelf under it, or putting the welder inside of a drawer. So when you need to work on the welder, you can get to your welding wire, just slide the welder back in there so it's out of the way, and then connect your welding leads to over here on the side. Went and had my brother-in-law across the state go pick me up a toolbox I found on Marketplace. Be getting that next weekend, so that video will be coming soon here too. So let's get back to this brush guard right here. We'll get it cut out and see what we need to do after that to put it on the brush guard. Cut it this way first. Just nick right here with the cutting wheel, a line right next to my line, so I can tell where to cut. Got front part over here, got off track just a hair, but over here and cut this long straight part and we'll be done. See if I did a nice little fabrication table, I'd have some way to hold this. What we'll be making that toolbox for, stuff like that. I'll show you a picture of it if I can find the toolbox that I had him go pick up. See, here's that little like groove that I just put in there so I can follow. You can still see just a harem wood of my line that I transferred onto there. So we'll just follow that scratch basically. Little groove that I just cut in there, we'll follow that down and be pretty close to perfect. Maybe need to clean up just a hair if it's too wide. Let's get to finishing. I guess the battery's running a little low on the grinder, so go switch that out and we'll get this finished. We're almost done, it looks like. Got through most of it. Had to bust out the electric plug-in grinder. Got both these pieces cut out though. Save those for something. Maybe make a nice bracket for something. Might make a nice motor mount. Looks like I might have to change the motor mounts over that I bought for the Cherokee. The Grand Cherokees are a little different, so might be able to put that on the frame rail and bolt the Cherokee motor mounts to it or something else. Might use tube for that. We'll see what I end up with motor mounts, but they would be pretty good for that. So we'll get that cleaned up. All my batteries died for the battery grinders. Put one on the charger, so we'll have more later. So got the winch plate back in here that we just cut out. Show you it with the other one right behind it. My dyslexia is messing with me, so went and made the wrong mark so I wouldn't cut it too wide. So Went and remade new marks, went and made sure they're right. And we'll have to cut that part off again. I'll show you the mistakes when I make them. I can read a tape measure good. I'm just not good at doing math, fraction, conversions. We'll get that cut out and should be right now. Got it relayed out. You can see the line right there. You can see the line on that side. Went and took tape measure up on these two lines right here, and it's the same. Show you guys when it's all cut out. There we go. Now she's cut to the right measurements. Here's what I had to cut off. Hey everybody, back here. The next day, went to Harbor Freight, as you can see, and picked up a couple products. That went with the 80 grit 4x36 inch sanding belt, the universal belt, the Bauer brand. I got a 14-inch cut off abrasive chop saw blade for the chop saw that I picked up in that review that I showed you guys. And then was wanting something like this, so it wasn't too much. I think it was only like 20-25 bucks. A magnetic tool holder for air tools or battery powered. Sticks to the side of your toolbox, and you can put 3 battery powered tools on there, so that'll be nice. I'm all out of one drawer that are just thrown in a drawer right now, so I picked this up from Harbor Freight. Paid for all these products with my own money. There's some info on it. It's magnetic, and then the angled part that goes over the lip on your toolbox. I was just noticing I don't have a lip on my toolbox down here on the chest part, so I'm gonna have to put it up here, the upper top part. Not where I planned on sticking it. All my power tools are down here, and air tools. This divider should help make some space, clean that drawer out a little bit. So that's what I got from Harbor Freight. Then I also went to the hardware store, picked up this set right here. Was gonna pick up the Harbor Freight ones, but went and found this whole set from the hardware store. Let's open it up and look at it. It's got 2 step bits, different sizes, automatic center punch, and it comes with this nice face. Thought that was a plus too, that it came all together. Then I ran to the hardware store and picked up some hardware. The hardware store that I went to and got this step bit set and center punch. I guess you can buy nuts and bolts by the pound. They didn't have the lock nuts that I went and bought, so bought them in a set of 3. So I picked up 9 of them, and then picked up these grade 8 bolts. They're zinc coated. Picked up longer ones, and then these shorter ones. These shorter ones are what holds the winch blade onto those angle iron. And then this longer one was what was holding your headlight hoop protector. Then I picked up some washers to go under them. They're also grade 8. And then also picked up some of those thick washers that are like this bushing right here. Located those washers, thick washers. They're grade 8 also. It's a 1 inch. And then there was 7/8. We'll get back to the brush guard fab, but just wanted to show you a couple products that I picked up to make the channel a little better. Looks like I might need to take this handle off that's on my toolbox here. Get it out of the way for that tool holder. It's not a big deal. I don't ever pick this toolbox up and move it, so I don't really need a handle. So we'll remove that and I'll show you what the holder looks like with and without tools. Let's get the tool holder unboxed. I'll actually show you unboxing it. Get a razor blade out here. Got some nice plastic bag on it. Feels pretty beefy. It's pretty heavy. These look like little wheels almost. Screws, not sure what that's for. Magnets are already installed, so there's 3 of them here. I'm not sure what these are for, unless they're for hard mounting it somewhere. It's marked US General right here. It's got 3 slots, 2 smaller and a jumbo they call it. Pretty nice feeling product here from Harbor Freight US General. It's for their US General toolboxes. I don't have one of those, but should still work. There we go. Got it put there on my toolbox. 3 magnets hold it to the side. It ain't going anywhere. Couldn't have been any bigger. Fits perfectly in the channel of my toolbox here. Show you what it looks like with drills and stuff in it. Got some tools put in it. Got my 3/8 impact. Fits right up in there. Got my 1/2 inch drill. And then decided to put my 3/8 ratchet in there. Fits in there straight pretty nice. Like locks in there, won't fall through, but it's in there pretty snug. Should still be able to fit a battery in there where I'm hanging my reciprocating saw. Worked out pretty well right here. I like it. Maybe I'll get some more products. I got one that's for gloves. Maybe I'll get it and put it down here. I would love to be able to replace this toolbox here with Harbor Freight US General one. Went and applied for their program where they'll have you test tools out. Haven't heard anything back from them about that since I started uploading videos. We'll see if I ever hear back from them. Help grow the channel. It looks like on my toolbox again, and put on that sanding belt and show you what that looks like on there. Got that belt on the old belt sander here from Harbor Freight that I picked up used. Got it on there. I'll flip the switch on and let you guys hear it running. Hear it runs pretty smooth. Sorry about that noise. Got a tin roof out here in the shed, so sorry about the noise. We'll get to the one last tool. Got to put that 14-inch abrasive blade on the old chop saw, so we'll do that right now, and then we'll have all the tools put together. Got that cut-off wheel on the old Chicago Electric from Harbor Freight. Hercules. That's the cut-off wheel that I picked up for this chop saw. We'll be putting this to work on projects on the Jeep.